Hello everyone, my name is Neha Sugriv Kamble. I am working as an assistant professor in botany department at Rajashri Shahu Mahavidyalaya, Autonomous Latur. So my topic name is Introduction of Flower. So let's start. First, the definition of flower. What is meant by flower? Flower is nothing but it is the highly modified and condensed shoot specially designed for the purpose of reproduction. Then next point is the flower generally develops in the axil of the leaf. That type of part is called as the bract. On this basis, presence and absence of bract, the flower is divided into two types. First one is bracteate flower and the abracteate flower. The flower which present bract, that type of flower is called as bracteate flower, and the flower which doesn't bear the bract, that type of flower is called as abracteate flower. Next is the typical structure of the flower. This is the typical structure of the flower which contains pedicel. This one is the pedicel. The stalk of the flower is called as pedicel, and we know that the stalk of the leaf is called as petiole, the stalk of the flower is called as pedicel, and the stalk of the inflorescence is called as peduncle. So this was the flower, then the stalk of the flower is called as pedicel. This one is the pedicel. Then it is the receptacle. Receptacle is also known as thalamus, and the thalamus is also called as the torus. On this thalamus, there are formation of four nodes. On the first node, calyx is present. On second node, corolla is present, and on third node, androecium is present, and fourth node, gynoecium is present. So a typical structure of flower is divided into mainly three parts: pedicel, thalamus, and florivals. We see that pedicel is the stalk of the flower, thalamus is the stolon structure. On that thalamus, it bears nodes and internodes, and on that nodes, these floral whorls are arranged. Next one is floral whorls. There are basically four whorls are present. That one is calyx, corolla, androecium, and gynoecium. The flower is divided on mainly two types. First one is non-essential whorl, and second one is essential whorl. Non-essential whorls contains calyx and corolla. Non-essential whorls are also known as the accessory whorls because they directly don't take part in the reproduction but help the flower to the reproduction. So the non-essential whorls are calyx and corolla, and essential whorls are androecium and gynoecium. So we discuss about the non-essential whorl, that is calyx. It is the first floral whorl. It is present on the first node of the thalamus, and it is the first non-essential whorl. Because non-essential, why? Because it do not take part in the reproduction but help the flower in the reproduction. That is, calyx is usually green in color, right? So calyx helps in the photosynthesis process and help the other floral whorls. So it is directly not take part in the reproduction. So we called as a non-essential whorl. So it is made up of, calyx is made up of different members, that is called as sepals. Sepals are the individual member of the calyx, and group of sepal is called as the calyx, and individual member of the calyx is called as the sepal. On the basis of either sepals are free or fused, the calyx is divided into two types. First one is polysepalous calyx. Polysepalous calyx means polysepalous calyx. So poly means free and sepalous means sepals. The calyx in which the sepals are free, that type of calyx is called as polysepalous calyx. And the gamosepalous calyx means what? Gamo means fused and sepalous means sepals. The calyx in which sepals are fused, then that type of calyx is called as gamosepalous calyx. You already know that calyx is green in color, right? But in some cases, calyx is not green in color. It looks like a petal. So that type of calyx is called as petaloid calyx. That type of calyx is known as petaloid calyx. The polysepalous calyx and gamosepalous calyx already we have done. The next point is there are three types of calyx on the basis of their duration. First one is caducous calyx, second one is deciduous calyx, and third one is persistent calyx. Let's start with the caducous calyx. So what is meant by caducous calyx? Caducous calyx is nothing but the calyx which falls down during the flower. Then that type of calyx is called as caducus calyx, which we see in the swastik flower, right? Second one is deciduous calyx, the calyx which fall down during the withering of the flower, then that type of calyx is called as deciduous calyx. Last one is persistent calyx. Persistent calyx is nothing but the calyx which remain until the fruit formation, then that type of calyx is called as persistent calyx. We can see on the in the Solanaceae family members, for example, chili, tomato, brinjal, etc. This is the information about first non-essential whorl of the flower, that is calyx. Let's start with second non-essential whorl, that is corolla. So corolla is nothing but it is present on the second node of the thalamus. On the first node of the thalamus, calyx is present. Again, on the second node of the thalamus, the corolla is present. Next point is it is the second non-essential whorl. Why we call it as non-essential whorl? Already we have discussed, because it does not take part in the reproduction but help the flower for attracting the insect, because corolla is, we know that corolla is colorful in nature, so it attracts the insect and the pollination is takes place. Second one is it is made up of different members. These members are called as petals. That is, individual member of the corolla is called as petals and group of petals is called as corolla. So either on the basis of petals are fused or free. Again, corolla is divided into two types. First one is polypetalous corolla and second one is gamopetalous corolla. So polypetalous corolla is nothing but poly means free and petalous means petals. In which the petals are free, then that type of corolla is called as polypetalous corolla, and if the petals are fused, then that type of corolla is called as gamopetalous corolla. Second, the corolla is generally variously colored, but in cases corolla looks like the sepal, that is green in color. So in some cases corolla looks like sepal, then that type of petal is called as sepaloid petal. Again, polypetalous and gamopetalous we have already discussed. On the basis of shape of the corolla, it is divided into four types. First one is papilionaceous, second one is cruciform, third infundiculum, and fourth is bilabiate corolla. First of all, we discuss what is meant by papilionaceous corolla. So papilionaceous corolla is nothing but the corolla which looks like and butterfly shape. Then that type of corolla is called as papilionaceous corolla. Second one, cruciform. Cruciform is nothing but the corolla which looks like an alphabet, that is X-shaped. Then that type of corolla is called as cruciform corolla. Third one is infundibulum. Infundibulum type of corolla is nothing but it looks like funnel shape. It looks like an funnel shape. Then that type of corolla is called as infundibulum corolla. Last one is bilabiate corolla, which looks like an two lips, is known as bilabiate corolla. Here we completed the two non-essential whorl of the flower. In the next slide, we will discuss about the essential whorls, that is androecium and gynoecium. Before that, androecium and gynoecium, we already discussed calyx and corolla. We see that individual member of the calyx is called as sepals, right? And the individual member of the corolla is called as petals. The arrangement of the sepals and the petals and tepals in a bud condition is called as aestivation. You already know the aestivation. So what is meant by aestivation? It is the arrangement of sepals, petals and tepals in a bud condition. Then it is called as aestivation. Aestivation has five types. First one is valvate aestivation. You know, valvate aestivation. In the valvate aestivation, the sepals and the petals are just close to each other without any overlapping and overlap. Then this type of aestivation is called as valvate type of aestivation. Second one is twisted aestivation. In twisted aestivation, for example, you can see rose flower. In the rose flower, the petals or the sepals is get overlapped and one margin of the petal or sepal is get overlapping. Then that type of aestivation is called as twisted aestivation. Third one is imbricate aestivation. In imbricate aestivation, out of 5 petals or sepals, one petal is completely outermost, one petal is completely innermost, and remaining 3 petals of the margin get overlapped and overlapping. Then that type of aestivation is called as imbricate aestivation. Fourth one is vexillary aestivation. Vexillary aestivation you can see in the clitoris plant, that is we call as gokarna. In clitoris there are mainly 5 petals. In a vexillary aestivation, one characteristic feature is that it is only found in the petals, right? Petals means it is the arrangement in which corolla, arrangement of the corolla. In vexillary aestivation, 5 petals are there. Out of 5 petals, one petal is posterior side, that is outermost petal, that type of petal is called as vexillary aestivation. For example, this is the vexillary aestivation. In the vexillary aestivation, it is the standard petal which is very posterior to the posterior side and present outermost to the flower. Then it is wings which present in the lateral side of the standard petal. Wings is called as wings or alae. The anteriormost petal is called as keel or carina. Keel or carina. So, in this vexillary aestivation, wings are present to the lateral side of the standard petal, and in the anterior side there is the formation of two petals which are joined to each other. That type of petal is called as keel or carina. This keel or carina looks like an boat-shaped structure, and the whole structure or the whole aestivation is called as papilionaceous corolla, that is butterfly-like corolla. So, this type of aestivation is seen in Clitoria. We completed the aestivation. Again, this again come to our topic, that is essential whorl, that is androecium. So androecium is nothing but it is the male part of the flower. It present on the third whorl of the flower, and it is the first essential whorl. Why we call the essential whorl? Because androecium directly take part in the reproduction. So the members of the androecium is known as stamens. As we see, the calyx, members of the calyx is called as sepals. The members of the corolla is called as petals. In this way, the members of the androecium is called as stamens. The stamens is composed of three parts. First one is anther, second one is connective, and third one is filament. This is the diagram of the anther. Here anther, we see that first part is anther. So anther is a sac-like structure in which generally the anther is dithecous in nature. Dithecous means what? Di means two and theca means what? Compartment. In this way, in the dithecous anther, there are 4 microsporangia are present, and in that microsporangia, pollen sacs are present. And in that pollen sacs, what we see that the pollen grains are present there. So anther we will discuss. Again, connective is there. Connective is nothing but in this way, the connective is present between anthers and filament. The function of the connective is nothing but to connect the anther and filament. Third one is filament. Filament is nothing but it is the tubular structure which present or connect anther and connective. Third, next is gynoecium, which is the again essential whorl of the flower. It is present on the 4th node of the thalamus. It is the second essential whorl of the flower. An individual member of the gynoecium is called as what? Carpels. Gynoecium is also known as the pistil. On the basis of carpel, either carpel is fused or free. The carpel is again divided into two types. What? Apocarpus and syncarpus. Apocarpus and syncarpus. So what is meant by apocarpus? Apo means free and carpus means carpel. In which the flower in which carpels are free, then that type of flower is called as apocarpus, and the flower in which the carpels are fused, then that type of flower is called as syncarpus. The gynoecium is basically divided into 3 parts. First one is stigma, second one is style, and third one is ovary. So what is meant by stigma? Stigma is nothing but it is the sticky part of the gynoecium. Second one is style. Style is elongated part through which pollen tube emerges, and the ovary is nothing but it is the solen structure of the gynoecium, and in that ovary the ovules are present, and after fertilization ovule get converted into seed and ovary get converted into fruit. These are the 4 whorls of the flower.